Are you considering moving to Spokane but unsure which neighborhood suits you best? Well, in today's video, we're going to compare two prominent neighborhoods in Spokane, the Northside and the South Hill. Each offers unique characteristics that cater to different lifestyles. Let's dive in and figure out which one is going to suit you. Welcome back to Living in Spokane, Washington. If you're new here, my name's Hunter Mackay, and I'm your local real estate broker. With over 10 years of industry experience, I'm here to share my insights and help you find a good home here in Spokane. Thanks for joining us. Let's dive into it. Let's start with Spokane South Hill. It's known for its historic charm, tree-lined streets, and overall well-established presence in Spokane. It is one of its oldest neighborhoods and home to everything from a 3-story traditional mansion that was built in 1890 all the way to a mid-century modern home that will absolutely knock your socks off and make you feel like it was built just yesterday. South Hill is one of the only neighborhoods that I personally have not lived in. However, I've had tons of friends growing up in that area who really enjoyed it. The thing that I know Spokane South Hill for is the homes are a little bit more expensive because for the most part, it is a nicer neighborhood. You are going to traditionally be in a higher tax bracket, and a lot of the school systems are also very highly rated. You will have to take a look at each individual neighborhood as no two are created equal, even inside the Spokane South Hill. But a lot of the homes do tend to be older and some of them in need of more maintenance simply because it's an 1890s home, my friend. It's going to take some upgrades in order to bring it into the modern era. But if you're looking for something with an amazing historic setting or a little bit of charm to it, South Hill is going to be a great place to start. I think when most locals think about Spokane South Hill, they're thinking about proper Manito. And Manito is an amazingly beautiful place to live with lush rose gardens during the summer. And it can be a great place to just go for a walk with your dog, enjoy a picnic with your family, or host an entire event, depending on how close you are to the pavilions that are rentable. Manito Park is a beautiful part of South Hill, but it is certainly not the only part of South Hill that we need to talk about today. Another really popular area to consider beyond Manito Park is Comstock, which is a little bit farther up on the hill, but another very favored area with beautiful architecture and some beautiful historic homes. Another thing that residents really enjoy about the South Hill is its close proximity to downtown. In many cases, you can be within 5 to 15 minutes of all of your favorite restaurants that are in the downtown core. Additionally, South Hill has its own shopping center up above 57th and Regal that makes really convenient for access to things like Target, Albertsons, or Yolks, along with a couple of other big chain restaurants that you're used to seeing like Chipotle, Mod Pizza, and Wingstop. In addition to its shopping convenience, the educational environment for really kindergarten all the way through seniors is really strong in the South Hill. It can be a big draw for people in the area. There are a lot of highly rated schools. I recommend that you go to greatschools.org in order to see not only the public ratings, but also some of the private reviews that residents can provide on those websites. We will link that below. That way you can do your own research on which school fits best for you. Just earlier, we were talking about how many amazing amenities there are beyond just the shopping and the restaurants. One restaurant in particular that I want to highlight both for locals if you haven't been there and for out-of-towners as you're visiting is Gordy's Sichuan Cafe. If you don't like spicy food, this place is not for you. And even if you do like spicy food, when they ask you on a scale of 1 to 5 how spicy you like it, I must recommend, if you've not been there before, stay below 3. Don't be brave. Don't go for the 4 and 5 star. You will be breathing fire. But it's an amazing restaurant with a very talented chef and some absolutely delicious food. One of the big, possibly negative considerations for considering South Hill is that it is a little bit more expensive than the average price point in Spokane. If we silo Spokane South Hill, the average median home price is actually $500,000, where the median home price in Spokane otherwise is a lot closer to $385,000 to $400,000 depending on how far out of a radius you give it. Spokane South Hill is a very desirable place to live, and that is reflected in its price. Not only are the prices a little higher, but we also mentioned that maintenance, the homes are a little older, so you're either going to be paying a premium for work already done by someone else, or you're going to be doing that work yourself. And so pick your home carefully and make sure that you love all the projects that this older home is going to give you, because they exist and many of them are worth doing. It just needs to require the right attitude. Okay, let's hop in and talk about the North Side. Now, the North Side is a big place because no one's really sure where to consider these boundaries. When I first moved to Spokane, I lived in Colbert. This is technically on the north side of Spokane, but it's just way north. It's like 40 minutes north of downtown, and it makes a lot of people who live up there unaware that the really southern portion of the city exists. It's not where you go when you're a downtowner. If you're going to be going out with your friends every night, you probably don't live 45 minutes away. It's going to make driving complicated. I do love the neighborhoods in the North Side, and I loved growing up there. But when I first lived in Spokane, I didn't think anything south of Francis existed. Now, if you want to pull up a map, or here, I'll do it for you, Alana, map. If you look at a map of Spokane, Francis is a pretty far northern boundary. It's actually fairly far north on the north side. It's a good kind of upper limit of where town exists. Once you go north of Francis, you really are getting into country homes, Meade, Colbert. They're technically still suburban parts of Spokane, but this is where your friends and family who live in other parts of the city are finally going to start saying, you're kind of far away. Now, some people can really like that. I know I did, and it's still some of my favorite places to live. There are bigger parcels, there are newer homes, they cost less in general, price per square foot, and you can get a lot of really crazy cool amenities. You want a big shop or a giant boat garage? We're not looking on the South Hill unless you have a lot of money. If you want a big giant shop and a boat garage and you want a normal house, we can find that on the north side. It exists because those things have been built more recently. It's uncommon to find a home that was built in 1920 with a boat garage. They didn't exist. And so in order to have that on a place like the South Hill, well, someone had to build it later, and that can be extremely expensive given the land and the available space. And so if you're okay with a smaller home but need a great big garage, we're going to go find that on the north side a lot easier. There are so many different neighborhoods that make up the north side. A lot of locals really consider the north side anything from West Central, which is really my area just above me on the way to downtown. If you just hit that West Central area heading north, you pick up Shadle, you pick up Garland District, you pick up all the midtown areas around Division. All of that is really considered the north side. And so there's a huge eclectic mix of housing at all different price points, just depending on what you're really looking for. We can find houses in Shadle Park for $250,000 to $300,000 right now, but we can go just a few blocks around the corner into the upriver area or downriver Grill and find something that is $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 with a view and sits on the river. And so it really is an amazing breadth of what you want and what you can afford, but everything can be found on the north side. Some of the things that I like most is it's really easy to get around. Yes, you are generally 10 to 15 minutes farther away from other things than you are on the South Hill, but you're still close to the shopping that you need. There is a north side Costco that is super easy and convenient to get to. There is a north-south freeway that maybe will be finished in the year 2085. It was supposed to be finished years after I arrived. I have lived in Spokane for 22 years, and the north-south freeway is not finished. Large chunks of it are, and so now getting from the deep north in Meade all the way down to downtown does take a little bit less time, depending on which zones you're coming from. And so it's just really important to take a look around when you're picking a neighborhood in Spokane. What else goes along with your life? What's your commute to work? What's your favorite grocery store? Do you really want a Trader Joe's? Guess what? There's a Trader Joe's on the South Hill, and there's a Trader Joe's on the north side. We've kind of got you covered. And so just reach out. Let me know what's most important to you, and I can help build a neighborhood guide that's tailored specifically for you. Some key neighborhoods and things that I want to bring up about the north side. The first one is Garland District. It's one of the only really walkable areas of Spokane's north side. It's definitely a car-centric neighborhood for Spokane, but Garland allows you to be completely walkable up and down this one street that covers a really eclectic mix of movie theaters and shops and restaurants and little businesses that are all local that you can support. It's a really fun area and has had a recent revitalization and huge investment from locals, and is definitely worth a look when you're in town. You might be thinking, Hunter, I haven't heard anything about parks in the north side yet. Where are those? don't worry, we've got you covered. There's Audubon Park and Downriver Golf Course, but if you live on the north side, you are still probably 15 to 20 minutes away from a ton of hiking areas. Riverfront State Park is a very great place to go walking, and there's also a lot of hiking trails up around this area called Bowl and Pitcher. You definitely do have to drive to Bowl and Pitcher, but it can be a really great area to go camping, hiking, or mountain biking, depending on your flavor of the month. Some things that locals complain about the north side is that it can be congested at certain areas. I joked earlier that Division is just not a street worth driving on. I meant it. I try to spend as little time driving on actual Division as possible. Yes, it has a ton of strip malls and an amazing amount of shopping depending on what I need, but if I'm not going to a store or restaurant on Division, I'm going to be taking one of the other arterials because it's a lot faster. There's a lot of high traffic areas and streets that are all centered around like Highway 395 and Division, and at peak hours they can be really slow. Having lived on the north side most of my life, I've come to really enjoy the neighborhood. I will say we tend to be farther away from the downtown core, we don't have as many cool restaurants, and the biggest claim to fame is our Costco, Target, Walmart. And so if your life is about convenience and you don't want to shell out as much money on repairs and you'd like a bigger house or a bigger garage, I think the north side can be for you. It definitely requires a car, and the convenience is in how far your money goes, not necessarily how physically convenient you are to the other amenities. Both South Hill and Northside have their unique appeal and charm depending on what you or your family is looking for. South Hill is going to be more historic, it's going to be older houses, it's going to be more tree-lined streets, and it's going to feel more eclectic and unique. You're also going to pay more for the privilege of owning an older home that requires more repairs and maintenance, but that's the trade-off that you get. The north side, it's going to be more standard, it's going to be more expected, and the houses are going to be a little bit less interesting, but they tend to be larger, newer, have some better amenities like a bigger garage or a newer roof or newer services like the plumbing and the electrical is probably a good 50 to 100 years newer, and in many cases the sewer systems can be newer. So all of these things can go a long way towards putting more money in your pocket. If you're curious to see which Spokane neighborhood fits you best, go visit them, spend some time driving around, meet the neighbors in that area and ask them, what's it like to live here? Better yet, rent an Airbnb in that zone and walk around in the neighborhood and be part of the community. You'll immediately catch a vibe and know which place is for you. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more Spokane insights. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.